Okay guys, this is my last video, which I filmed yesterday and then didn't get it up till like early this morning in the middle of the night, basically. You know, BNB, it made sense that BNB was going to continue an upward trend. Now what's scary is the parabolic move it's made, so I always worry that it's going to knife down. Now the whole situation on Venus that I was talking about, it did dry up. I will give you another alpha move though. On the Binance Smart Chain, Aave is on multiple chains now. It's on probably a dozen different chains. So on the Binance Smart Chain, you could borrow USDC, and then you could take it over to Venus and post it as collateral. Now, what would you do? You would post wrapped Bitcoin, wrapped Ethereum, or whatever over on Aave, borrow USDC against it at basically around 12%. And then you could go over to Venus and you could post the USDC as collateral that's paying out 23 or 24%. And then you could borrow again against that to, you know, position yourself in other assets, whether that be Polygon. And then you could buy that and then post that as collateral. You could buy TRON, post that as collateral. Buy Cardano, post that as collateral. Buy DOT, post that as collateral. And then borrow against all that stuff and, you know, take it somewhere else. Maybe take it to another chain. Maybe take it to a blogging platform like Hive. And, you know, power it up and blog and earn yield off of it that way. You could go join liquidity pools. Obviously, as the value of these assets continues to increase, the DeFi, the percentages that you can earn in DeFi continues to go up because Bitcoin and Ethereum goes up, and then it might be paired with something else. You know, other people pull their liquidity because they want to get into the action of something else. So a lot of times it does seem like, you know, during these bull markets, it's not uncommon to be able to earn over 20% on stablecoin pairs. And, you know, last bull market, when we were in the summer of 2021, I was earning as much as 40% on stablecoin pairs. But then during the bear market, it got down to where it would be tough to earn 10% on pairings. And the best game in town was the 20% that you could earn from the Hive back dollar. That's still a good play, but you know, now that DeFi is going crazy, you know, and these yields and stuff are going up and popping off, then there's kind of greener pastures and not having to lock the funds up for as long kind of thing, and you can immediately withdraw and those kind of things. So there's a lot of opportunities popping up, and that was going back a few weeks. That's why I was like, you know, this is a full-on bull market, because I see all these opportunities just popping off. Here's an opportunity, there's an opportunity. You can move the money here, you make this money. Okay, there's another few $100 there, $1,000 here. It's just like it kind of goes crazy. So now my worry is like, how much longer can that last? How high is Bitcoin gonna go? And I saw a video today, a friend recommended, where, and I felt like these guys were very level-headed in what they were saying from a macroeconomic standpoint of kind of the jobs numbers and just the economy as a whole. Obviously inflation is just running rampant, and I don't think that they're really kind of able to quash that, because they would have had to take interest rates up to 20 or 25% to really kind of stamp out that inflation. Now that would have like really shell-shocked the economy, you know, but even as of now, we've got this situation where, you know, the inflation is still running rampant, and you know, there's additional kind of job losses and stuff like that. And obviously AI, you know, if you guys haven't played around with some of the AI tools, it's actually mind-boggling, especially some of these, you know, graphic design tools like Midjourney, or I was playing around with Playground AI. You can use Playground AI for free for I think 500 pictures a day or something like that, so you get quite a bit. But these digital renderings that these things will do, I mean, it would take a graphic artist like a couple weeks to do this, and this thing is just like pumping it out, pumping it out, pumping it out. So, you know, you definitely see a consolidation of, you know, coding and consolidation of graphic artists and all these kind of things, you know, from this. So, you know, and this trend is just going to continue. The AI is just going to get more and more and more advanced, because even, I'll say, even when I was playing with this stuff probably a year ago, fast forward a year, I mean, there's a lot more tools, and the tools seem to have gotten a lot more advanced. You know, the sophistication of them has increased, and that's just going to continue. So I don't know what's going to happen. Retail is kind of poking their head around, and I'll say this: some of these people that are kind of these outlier kind of figures, who, when this stuff pops off, you know, they're reaching out, they're getting curious. Those people are kind of re-entering or getting curious, poking their heads around. If they're going to have the funds or not to really engage, like, in a big way, that's kind of the question mark. Now maybe they kind of reposition themselves and make it a point to, you know, get more money in and try to find that any way they can, because the fact remains, it's kind of like one of those things, like, why do people play the lottery? Well, they've obviously, like, they understand that they're not going to get ahead with their job, so it's like sort of this last ditch effort. They don't know kind of what to do, and they're just kind of hopeful. They're just wishful that, you know, they could sit there and win the lottery, and it could be kind of their turn to have a better life, you know, all this kind of stuff. But obviously a little more sophistication with getting involved in crypto and you know, doing this route, you know, with investments and stuff like that. But that being said, it's the same premise. It kind of enters this casino stage, obviously, with these meme coins. So we see that, people going after it, people being hopeful, and you know, at the end of the day, they're going to kind of find the money one way or another. Now, again, like I said, when I look at this stuff, and I was seeing one article saying that, well, okay, $70,000 Bitcoin this is basically kind of where $20,000 was last time, and then we went up to 69,000. So, like, let's just pretend the premise that you could even, you know, double your money from here and go to, you know, 140,000, 150,000 with Bitcoin at the end of this cycle. And I don't know what that's going to look like, guys. To be straight up honest, we just could go up so fast that we could have a little bit of a blow off top or something here in 2024. And it's just like, well, you know, we ended up starting the cycle earlier. It kind of ends a little earlier, you know, or maybe it ends up being a double or triple peak, and we still end up sort of hitting some sort of ginormous peak in 2025. I don't know, you know. And then there's also the premise that Bitcoin and Ethereum have become these liquidity traps, and in some respects that kind of helps it and it kind of hurts it, because I don't try to interact with this stuff on their native chains. The fees are too high. I'm not going to sit there and move. I'm not going to sit there and try to enter liquidity pools or something on Ethereum. It's a joke. The fees are so high, and the premise that people are still trying to move around in there. But honestly, I think a lot of people are trapped, and it's hard to say how much of that money. The most money in DeFi is locked on Ethereum, and then after that it's TRON, and then it's the Binance Smart Chain, and then it's Solana. But how much liquidity is actually trapped on Ethereum, where people just leave it there because they're like, if I try to move it, I'm going to pay too high of a fee, and this doesn't make sense. Hopefully this thing will scale eventually, and then I'll be able to, like, you know, get out of this. It's really hard saying. So very, very hard saying. So that being said, as far as BNB is concerned, you know, it's pretty much touched 600 now, and that was a very, very quick move from about, like, it really dipped down to like 375. I'm talking like 5 days ago. Now we're at $600, and that's pretty shocking. You know, that's the percentage increase is pretty insane, but it kind of makes sense in a way, because when I'm moving around the Binance Smart Chain, the fees sometimes will be like $2 or $3. It's not to where I'm not going to do it, but it's to where I'm going to kind of keep having to kind of make sure I have enough gas. I'm going to have enough BNB to keep moving, to you know, check out this opportunity or buy this, or, you know, post this as collateral over here. So, and I would say Avalanche is kind of the same way. The Avalanche fees got up pretty high, but then it's almost like they got something solved. And then last time I was over there moving around, the fees weren't as bad. We're talking like $1 or $2. Not super low like it is on Solana, but not to where I'm not gonna like do it. But Ethereum, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna be over there interacting with that. Now, does this, you know, help these layer 2s? I think it will. I think that Matic has upside, but TVL hasn't, total value locked has not went up as much as I would like it to on Polygon. But it does seem like Atrium, I've never been on Atrium, but it seems like a lot more people are using Atrium, and the total value locked continues to seem to increase over on Atrium. So I don't know. And then some of this stuff is going up. Like I mentioned Phantom, total value locked, that whole situation isn't really looking great per se over on, you know, on the Phantom chain. Well, it's not a chain, it's a DAG, but over on Phantom, the total value lock's not really kind of doing much. And I went over to Spooky Swap and I went to Spirit Swap, and I don't know, a lot of stuff had changed, and it seemed like it was like not very kind of user friendly, because they'd switched to these other versions like version 3, stuff like that. So it was kind of like, it was like, where's the farms, you know, kind of thing. And I popped over, but people are buying up Phantom now. So I don't know if they're like, well, this thing's going to go back as it moved, but then people maybe aren't engaging in the DeFi stuff as much. I don't know. You guys tell me. Are you guys on Phantom? You guys doing any DeFi? That being said, I could see upside for Solana. I could see more upside for BNB. That kind of makes sense for me. Ethereum, I don't like to interact with it, but you know, if the narrative of potential ETF is still going to be there, you know, I certainly think that Ethereum's going to catch up and go to an all-time high, which was like 4,800. So it's at like 4,000 and go up to 4,800. I could certainly see that for sure. It's going to go past that. But at the end of the day, it's like you guys might be looking for more like a bigger multiple. Doge, obviously, you know, we're under this 20 cent kind of range, you know, peak being over 70 cents. So that thing is still primed. You see the parabolic move, you see this like little reset. I think people are going to jump back and dump into Doge again. I just, you know, I just don't see any kind of reality besides a Mars-sized asteroid, you know, hitting Earth, you know, this kind of stuff. You know, I see the Doge is going to go higher, and I just think we have more of a runway, because on these bad days where it seems like the market's not very active, well, it's not, we haven't really kind of had a capitulation move here lately. Like obviously that one where it went to 69 and then it dipped real fast, like 10% or whatever. But it just seems like, I don't know. A lot of people have bet against Bitcoin, and it continues to charge higher, so that could be creating all kinds of short squeezes, or at least little ones, and that's just kind of perpetuating it forward. And then people are just kind of warming up to this and buying Bitcoin in their brokerage accounts, you know, through the ETF, and that just kind of is keeping a positive flow for us at this point. That being said, you know, I'm still staying vigilant with this whole thing, because obviously I don't want this thing to collapse. I don't want this thing to collapse on our head. So anyway, guys, what are you guys buying? What chains are you on? Are you guys doing any DeFi? See anything juicy out there? Follow me on all social media at Brian Phobos, YouTube, Instagram, Steam, Twitter, Hive, D2, Blurt, everywhere.